we go to a bit of a more fun one here. A legacy media journalist went clothing shopping, Harrison.
Yes, Andrew, he went Christmas shopping, tried to get in on the early deals. He found himself, and I really do feel bad for Glenn. He had to withstand some serious danger here. He went to one of the outlets just outside Ottawa, and take a look at what he was faced with. I mean, the absolute horror, Andrew, the absolute horror of seeing an Under Armour sweater with the word, wait for it, freedom, with a Canada flag, Andrew. I mean, it's bordering on hate speech. This is the kind of stuff I think that C11, the online, all this legislation, the online hate speech bill that's going to come through, this is the kind of stuff that we need to censor because it's just too much to handle, Andrew.
Yeah, so this is Glenn McGregor, Ottawa journalist, went to the, I don't know if it's Tanger or Tangier, or maybe it's in Algeria, I don't know. He went to this Tanger outlet mall in Canada, which is a suburb of Ottawa. He is there, he sees this, and doesn't actually comment on why it troubles him. He plays it very smart. He just posts the tweet, he plays it straight, and then everyone immediately jumps on him as though he's effectively triggered by the word freedom. Now, here's the thing. Glenn McGregor covered the convoy, so I assume that what he's seeing there is that perhaps this is a nod by Under Armour to the Freedom Convoy. But the reality is the Under Armour Freedom Campaign has nothing to do with the convoy, nothing to do with Canadian politics. It is actually about veterans. It is a veterans initiative. Proceeds from the sale of Under Armour Freedom products go towards veterans who are fighting for freedom. But Glenn shares this, and here's just some of the response that he gets. Terry Hagan writes, "Wow, they just lost my business." Ms. T. Mick says, "What? Honestly, I have to throw out so much now." Anne Bellissimo says, "Never buy from that company again." Now, whether these people were Under Armour customers to begin with, I have no idea. But the point is that now people are whipped up into a frenzy based on what is a misrepresentation, tacitly anyway, of what this thing was. Because I don't have an easy time believing it was just being shared because he liked the pattern that was on it. I think the Libs of TikTok response was my favorite here. "This is hate speech, literally shaking. Did you survive?"
Yes, no, exactly. I mean, that's all you can really do when you look at something like this. It's absurd, Andrew. And I mean, we've reached a point now where the legacy media, Glenn McGregor being one of the main offenders, in my opinion, because of the convoy, have been so shaken that the sight of the Canadian flag, and we know this to be true because the legacy media write articles about the Canadian flag all the time. The Canadian flag being a symbol of hate, being seen as a freedom convoy symbol. It's a negative thing. The sight of the Canadian flag is horrifying to some of these people, let alone, Andrew, even worse, the word freedom on top of the Canadian flag. I mean, you can't even begin to imagine how horrifying it must be for these legacy media journalists. But think about this. This all goes back to the conversation we started the show off with about legacy media and independent media. I don't for a second believe that the Canadian public seeing the word freedom and the Canadian flag are triggered, are hit with a tsunami of phantom honking, Andrew, that they can't handle themselves. I mean, I don't believe that to be for a second. But legacy media journalists who created their sort of their information silo where they really believe this stuff. They believe the phantom honking. They believe the fact that the Canadian flag is seen as this.
They believe that freedom is now this fringe ideal.
Right, exactly. They literally believe this stuff, and then that becomes their reality. That becomes their truth. And there's just no way. There's no way that is what the majority of Canadians really think of when they see the word freedom. There's no way that that's what the majority of Canadians think of when they see the Canadian flag. But it takes a certain person, I really do believe this, to be triggered by the word freedom and a Canadian flag, so much so that they'd be willing to embarrass themselves by posting it on social media. He didn't add context, but like you said, we all know what he's getting at here. It takes a certain level of complete, removal from, I believe, the normalcy, real life, reality, to be willing to post something like this. Totally absurd, ridiculous, and honestly, what else can you do other than laugh and just say, you hope that someone like Glenn can recover one day from this horrifying experience?